Sylveon is cotton candy flavored Eevee. Squirtle is a blue turtle man. Ditto is a sort of blob of putty, purple putty. Anyway, maybe he might be fleeing for his life or he might be frolicking. This guy is doing a photobomb, which is pretty cool. Who's the powerhouse of my team? The classic powerhouses of Delcatty and Bellossom. Let's do some quizzes. And we're going to find things out about myself that I didn't even know, right? Like, where would be the joy in you finding out about me things that like I already know? That would be trite. What's interesting is what lurks beneath, right? What lies within my psyche. That we can find that out together. So this is really a journey of discovery for all of us. And the first question that we're going to ask, and probably the most important question anyone can ask, is which type of Pokemon are you and I? Now, you're welcome to play along at home. I'll put all the links to the quizzes in the description so you can tell me which type of Pokemon you are. Now, of course, you don't get to choose, right? We don't decide what kind of Pokemon type we are. We are born with an innate type, and then when we grow up, we get to ask BuzzFeed what that is. So, let's get started. The first thing we're going to have to do is choose a place to travel. Now, this is, of course, to triangulate the location of your type within the wider world. Now, of these places, we've got, there's one more, Tokyo. I would quite like to go to Fiji. I have a few friends from Fiji. It seems really hot, which is kind of stressful, but it seems like really beautiful. So I'm going to choose Fiji. Also, they've got interesting fruit flies. I know a little bit about their fruit flies. So, yeah. Okay, next up, choose a dessert. Now, if you want, when you do these quizzes, you can kind of start like trying to see through the eyes of the program. For example, I would suspect that a gummy worm would place you as a bug type. No, wouldn't you think? Because it's kind of a worm. Candy rocks, ice cream, lava cake. Those all sound like there's at least a type that I can imagine that preferencing. I'm not like a massive lava cake guy. I have like a bunch of dietary restrictions because I'm a sort of sick Victorian child, and so I can't have like gluten or milk. But we'll just imagine that these are like, safe versions for me. There is like safe cheesecake. It's like without cheesecake with no cheese and no base. Well, with a fake cheese and a fake base, and it's still pretty good. Because cheesecake's pretty good. Gummy worms are pretty iconic. Chocolate bars are okay. I always really wanted sour candy belts as a kid. But I think it's more for like the novelty because you never got them. I'm gonna go cheesecake. I think cheesecake is really superior. I don't know what type that could be, but we'll see. We'll see what it reveals. Choose an activity to do. Okay. So we can do these three, or we can shop. I like hanging out with friends. I do not want to go rock climbing. Look at this. This man is going to die. Like this is a horror picture for me. I don't like heights. I don't like the idea of falling. I just hit my head and I don't want to do it again. Because I'm probably already teeing myself up for early onset dementia or something. So we're not going to click rock climbing. Partying sounds like an exhausting prospect at this time in my life. I'm gonna abstain from the party. Don't like a zip line for the same reason as a rock climb. A hike is good, but my fitness is shot, and at the moment, being sick, I kind of just want to stay in. Travel. What are we? That's a map of Europe. So I guess we're going to Europe. We've got a laptop. We've got an iPhone. We've got a passport. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to Europe. Though Europe seems like a nice place, but like I think of all of these, I kind of want to read a book. I've got some good books over here. I've got the biography of Leonard Cohen for Christmas, which I'm a fan of Leonard Cohen. I've got Donna Tartt's The Secret History, which I've only read like the first few chapters of, but it's really nicely written. I'm like, I wish I could write like Donna Tartt. So, I don't know. Book review coming. And then I've got all my D&D books down there, which, you know, the last time I actually played a game of D&D was years ago. But D&D is one of those things that you kind of daydream about and then never do because of scheduling. So anyway, I'm going to read a book. I'm going to read Donatar's The Secret History. Choose a gemstone. Okay, so if you're a Pokemon player, you'll recognize some of these. You'll remember Ruby and Sapphire, and you'll remember Diamond and Pearl. Of course, these other ones are kind of mysterious. We don't know what the heck they are because there was no Pokemon game. I'm sure there's a Pokemon fan game for each of these, like Pokemon Jade and Pokemon Rose Quartz. Alexandra. Oh, Alexandra is cool. Look at this. Yeah, this is cool. It's got like a variation in the hue. I'm gonna pick Alexandrite. Okay, personality trait. I wish there was only 9 of these. Oh no, they all fit this time. Okay, personality trait. We can have prideful. We can have perfection. We can have impulsiveness. We can have charm, friendliness, faithfulness. Is this a personality trait that I think suits me? Choose a personality trait. I think I am. It's kind of like a double-ended question because there's the trait you choose, and then there's the trait that choosing the trait you choose suggests that you actually have. So if I choose something like perfection, that either suggests a kind of insecurity about my own work, or a very high and strong ego. I think I want diligence. I think that I, for better or for the worse, am not willing to do things halfway. Okay, next. Choose a Pokeball. So this is a classic question. The Quick Ball is kind of ugly, but it is like my best friend. I love Quick Balls. But I'm going to go based off aesthetics here, I think. I don't know if I care for those. I kind of like the Netball, and that would suit me as an entomologist. I'm going to go Netball because bugs. And I like the design of the netball. I think it's cool. I like the tealy color in the net. I think it's a respectable ball. So this is an interesting one. I think that invincibility sounds quite good. So does healing powers. Teleportation. I think if you had teleportation, you'd just live in existential crisis because you'd be like, am I the same me? Speed and strength, I don't really care for. I don't want underwater breathing. Flight would help with my fear of heights, but also I'm afraid of heights, so I don't really want to go flying. Ability to talk to animals is like objectively like the weakest superpower here, but it would be fitting for my character as the Bugman. However, and a Pokemon talker, talking head, commentator. What am I? I'm like a pundit. I'm a Pokemon pundit. But of all of these, I have to say healing powers. Now, there's some variation of what that could mean, right? It could be I can heal myself, I can heal other people. But I think, in any case, being able to heal in real life is like by far the most useful superpower. Like, am I really care about being super strong when I could like heal myself from like mundane illnesses? And there we have it. While I was rambling about healing, I got my type. I'm a water type. Apparently, I'm a pretty relaxed and reserved person. I like to relax and chill out with friends. Go get myself a Gyarados. Gyarados, the Pokemon that is notorious for being relaxed and reserved. After all, if you look at that picture of the Gyarados there, you can tell that he's just going with the flow, man. He's just chilling out. Yeah, so that's me. I'm canonically a water type. What type are you? Are you a water type? Are you a grass type? Could be anything. Now we get to rank the quiz. We can go. It can be cute, win, lol, fail, WTF, or OMG. I think that's a win, personally. I'm giving that quiz a win. Here's the next quiz. So last time we had questions about me, my personality, my desires, and it was going to tell me a Pokemon thing. This time, it's the reverse. We're going to pick Pokemon, and we're going to find out which scented candle I am. And that is hard-hitting journalism. Okay, so, prepare yourself for this reveal. I understand if you finding out that I am a wicked or devious scented candle ruins your interest in this channel and makes you think, actually, I need to boycott the channel. which is now called Parasitoid Pod. I wanted to name it after Pod because, you know, he was formative to the channel. I realized, though, that just calling it Pod, while quite a clean, catchy name, makes it impossible to ever find by searching, because the word pod is like the most common word to search because of podcasts. So, Parasitoid Pod. Parasitoid is a much more unusual word. It kind of sounds like I'm a parasitoid podcast, which I'm not. It's about Pokemon. It also makes my abbreviated name PP, but I think I'll lean into PP rather than trying to reject it. I'm probably going to spin off a Henry Kid channel again, but I want to keep my Pokemon life and my work life separate, because it gives me less explaining to do when people ask what I'm doing with my spare time. So for this quiz, we get to pick some Pokemon partners. The first one is a starter, and we have 6 options: Charmander, Turtwig, Rowlet, Poplio, Fennekin, and Pikachu. Now, I'm not a big Poplio or Fennekin enjoyer. They're both okay. I don't dislike either of them, but they're not my favorite here. And then I don't think I can, in good conscience, pick Pikachu or Charmander. I'm not that basic. It's just something you got to fight. I also usually like the grass starters. Grass starters are usually my favorite. So I think the question is really for me: do I want Turtwig or Rowlet? And this is a very difficult choice. They're both very wonderful. They're both kind of mid in actual Pokemon. Torterra's got Shell Smash now, which was a big glow up, but it's still kind of mid. Decidueye has Hisuian form, which is still kind of bad. But I think I'm going to take Rowlet because, like, Rowlet's really funny. The thing where he, like, turns his head around without turning his feet is great. When I played Sun and Moon, I took Rowlet. I like Rowlet. He's kind of wonderful. But Turtwig is runner-up here. Okay. The next question is, what's the first Pokemon I'm going to catch on my journey? So, it's not Seal, I don't think, because Seal is never an early route Pokemon. There's the thing about Seal. Like, I think Seal's actually wonderful. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. But, like, where the heck do you get it? You always get it after, like, the 7th gym, when you really don't, like, you've got your water type by then. And you're like, wow, a Seal. In Kanto, you get it after you, in Seafoam. In Johto, you get it in the Johto version of Seafoam. In Hoenn, there's Spheal instead. Yeah, I just think that there's never an opportunity to use Seal. So even though it's probably actually my favorite of these, I've never seen one. At the start of a Pokemon journey, that totally ruins my suspension of disbelief. So not Seal. I don't really like to use Jigglypuff and Bidoof and Lillipup. I like Bidoof, I don't really like Lillipup. I think it's going to be Vulpix. I think I love Vulpix. I think usually if I was offered a Vulpix at the start of a game, I would take it. Fire types are rarer than most types in the early game, so it's nice to get your hands on one. And also, you know, if I'm like being like a meta trainer, like being able to just lead into a Sun team or a Hail team, Snow team, if I'm in a Alola, sounds great. So yeah, I'm taking Vulpix every day. Okay, next question. I just caught an Eevee. What do I evolve it into? Now this is a question for the ages. I am going to evolve it. Although I do think Eevee is really cute, I think that, I don't know, it's like I feel like just keeping it as an Eevee is a bit played out or something. You know, I want to actually be able to like win fights with it, and I don't have the extreme Evo boost, Z Crystal, so it's going to be between one of these options, and they're all good. I actually like all of the evolutions. I think my least favorite is probably Flareon, but that's mostly because it's a continual disappointment in battle. Its design is fine. However, I say that, but the two that I'm actually deciding between are also disappointments in battle. They're definitely the two worst of these 5. Glaceon and Leafeon. I really like both of the Hoenn? Sinnoh. I really like both of the Sinnoh evolutions. I think they're just wonderful. Glaceon's got a cute little hat on, and Leafeon's Leafeon. I don't know. I would happily take either. What is my team? My team is Rowlet and Vulpix. Okay, so I've got what a type? I got a grass type and a fire type. So I should really take Vaporeon for the Fire Water Grass Core, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take... I was going to say I should take Glaceon because I've already got a Leafeon, but like neither of them have any defensive merit, and Ice is not like an improvement over Leafeon in terms of weaknesses and resistances. I'm taking Leafeon because I've got a Vulpix and I can do Chlorophyll stuff. I can run like Solar Blade Decidueye, Drought Ninetales, and then Chlorophyll Leafeon. That actually sounds kind of good. Okay, no, Leafeon definitely. If I put in the Sun Up and this thing gets a quadruple weakness to fire, that doesn't sound good. He says as he gives his Leafeon a quadruple weakness to fire. It's all good. Okay, who's the powerhouse of my team? The classic powerhouses of Delcatty and Bellossom. This is instant Lavanny. Lavanny is like my favorite Pokemon for some unknown reason. It's just so good. Like I love Lavanny. It's a wonderful friend. I don't know. I definitely want Lavanny on my weird Sun team. Ninetales plus 3 grass types. Yeah, no, Lavanny every day. Look at its face. I'll put it up here, I guess. I'll put Lavanny up here. Look at Lavanny. It doesn't look like it from a distance, but when you really think about Lavanny, it's actually wonderful. You just have to think about it. Okay, we're going to go to Paldea now. We're traveling to Paldea. Which new Pokemon am I picking up? Okay, so we've got Quaxly, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, the 3 starters, Lechonk, Fido, and Cetitan. I think I actually kind of want a Fido. Oh, do I want a Fuecoco? Fido is kind of interesting because I'm a Sun team and I kind of want a Fire immunity, but Fuecoco gives me well, also Dark Resist sounds quite nice for this team. So if I take Fuecoco, I'm gonna have 2 Ghost types, no Dark Resist. That sounds a bit dodgy. Not that my team has much defensive integrity, but like, am I really gonna add to it? Fuecoco is also quite a funny guy, but it might be a bit cumbersome to like have to deal with having a crocodile following you around. So I'm gonna go against grain and say Fido. I kind of like it. It's a dog. Okay, and then we get a legendary. We found a legendary Pokemon. Which one will it be? We have Victini, Diancie, Suicune, Shaman, Articuno, and Tapu Koko. Now there's some good choices here. I really like Shaman. Shaman is so adorable. And I really like Suicune too. Suicune is not adorable like Shaman, but it's very elegant. And I really like Articuno as well. Those are all like good choices. Victini, Diancie, Tapu Koko I'm not too fussed about. So it's like, would I rather have... The thing is, if you have a Shaman, you've got like the cutest pet. Slash like, I don't know, companion. I don't know, Shaman might tell you what to do, it might be real bossy. Suicune, you can like ride it across water, and Articuno, I guess you can fly. Okay, so we've got Fido, that's a team dog. We've got Lavanny, it's like a human. We've got a team Beast, Rowlet. I guess we can fly on Decidueye. Yeah, I'm gonna take Suicune. I'm gonna take Shaman. So many grass types. I'm gonna take Suicune. And that way, if we don't get a Drought Ninetales, we can say we took it for the Fire Water Grass Core. Suicune, and my scented candle is bamboo. That's right, folks. I am a bamboo scented candle. You never would have predicted this. In fact, I didn't even know that a bamboo scented candle existed. But it turns out the real bamboo scented candle was me all along. After all, the smell of nature does bring me back home to Hoenn, and I love to admire the greenery of the forest on the back of my Pidgeot. That sweater of mine better be big enough to fit a Bulbasaur under it. It's quite true. I do like to be a bamboo scented candle. Lol, I say to that quiz. Isn't this wonderful? Aren't we learning so much? Alright folks, here's quiz number 3. Now, this one is making the strong claim that unfortunately, most people who claim to be Pokemon fans barely even know 25 of 50 out of these Pokemon. You either know them all or you don't. Now, to be honest, I'm pretty sure I'm going to know all of them because I think I know every Pokemon. However, we're going to see how quickly we can do it. We're going to try to speedrun this quiz to show it who's up. Okay, so I'm going to put a time... Well, I say I'm going to. If I can figure out how to do it in the editing room, I'm going to put a timer up here. So that we can see how quickly I can name them all. Okay, you ready? I don't know who's going to be down there. But we've got to do one of these quizzes. Okay, go. Pikachu, I know that one, it's the yellow mouse. Charizard's the big orange dragon guy. Eevee, it's the little brown fellow. Snorlax is the big sleepy guy. Mewtwo is the kind of pink Dragon Ball Z looking fellow. Charmander is the little orange lizard with the fiery tail. Sylveon is cotton candy flavored Eevee. Squirtle is a blue turtle man. Ditto is a sort of blob of putty, purple putty. Bulbasaur is a little frog dinosaur with a bulb on its back, hence the Bulbasaur. Lucario is a fox man who shoots giant blue, I know my Lucario, blue balls of energy in Super Smash Bros. Gengar is a spooky ghost who is like allegedly dead Clefable. Landorus, we all know Landorus, ground flying type, notorious in OU in its Therian form. Gardevoir has Trace, so when I played Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I got an army of Gardevoirs, Trace and Synchronize. So you can Trace to find out what ability wild Pokemon have, and Synchronize to force them to have your nature. Mew is a mythical Pokemon. It's pink. It spawned the Mewtwo, surprisingly. Garchomp is a Dragon Ground type. It has Sandveil, which got banned, but now it has Rough Skin, so it's unbanned. Xerneas clicks Geomancy, and then Power Herb activates, and it wins the battle. Jigglypuff is a little pink fellow, who's like a crazy gimmick in Super Smash Bros. Greninja is a ninja frog with a tongue. He wraps his tongue around his neck, which is really gross, as he always tasting his own neck. Rayquaza is a giant flying green fellow who likes to tell the children to stop fighting when they have land wars. Gyarados is a really relaxed and gentle dragon beast. Raichu is an electric mouse. It's the evolved form of Pikachu. There are about 17 quintillion Pikachus, so there's probably about 19 quintillion Raichus. Lopunny has a mega form where it gets scrappy, I think, and it's a bunny, and it's got big bunny ears, and it has to evolve by happiness. Blastoise is the enlarged version of Squirtle. It's got cannons and stuff. Pichu is like a little version of Raichu. Psyduck is a psychic duck. Slowpoke has a delicious tail, which you can buy for the low price of $500,000. Dragonite is kind of like Barney the dinosaur, but yellow and with wings. Salamence is a flying dragon, much like Dragonite in typing, but he's blue and quadrupedal. Magikarp is a really relaxed little red fish that you can also probably sell for meat. Espeon is pink-flavored Eevee with a psychic touch. Lapras is a kind of water beast that you can ride on to bring your tablet to the Mystical Isle and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of time and space. Jinx is the one of its trio that didn't get an evolution in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl because it was cancelled. Giratina is the lord of the Shadow Realm and all the dark places of the earth. Regigigas hasn't got going yet because Slow Start hasn't activated. Yveltal's going to click Oblivion Wing and heal for all of its health. Piplup is a little penguin fellow. Think a penguin, but little and a fellow. Arceus is kind of like the holy lord of all creation. Lugia is not a water type, it's a flying psychic type for some unknown reason to my childhood self. Gibble is a baby version of Mr. Sandveil up here. He's really cute, and he's kind of like a little funny shark mouth with legs. Venusaur is a big frog thingy. Togepi is an egg. Chikorita is probably one of my favorite Pokemon. I like to call it Bleg, so that's what my Chikorita was called. He's really wonderful, and he's getting a new evolution, presumably in Legends ZA. Glaceon is blue Eevee with a hat. Tyranitar sits Sandstream, it's an icon. Thank you, BKC. Blaziken is a fire chicken. It's kind of a blazing kicking chicken, I would describe it as. Pancham is a little funny fellow. He's panda. He's from X and Y. He's a dark fighting type. I don't know. He's got an attitude. Metagross is like a human supercomputer made of 4 merged Beldums. Dialga is the lord of time and space. And Meowth can speak human words in the anime, but never in the games as far as I know, except, or maybe it can. But I'm pretty sure in Fire Red it just says meow, rather than speaking. Anyway, it's cat. Show me my results. Look at me. I'm a Pokemon master who's ready to show the world how much I know about Pokemon. Now I'm going to go on. What am I waiting for? Catch 'em all. I mean, of course I knew all the Pokemon. After all, I'm Lance from... Lance? Is that Lance? I think that's Lance. From the Elite Four. And that, I would say, is a win. So yeah, I think I did that. Gosh, I was talking very quickly for a while there. But there were 50, I had to get through them. We'll see how well I did on the timer when I stop the clock. Yep, thank you for coming to this quiz. It's a different kind of content, more cerebral less kind of exploratory. Let's do 5. We'll do 5 quizzes for this video, so we'll do 2 more. We could deviate from the Pokemon theme and try a different flavor of quiz. Okay, so this next quiz, the penultimate quiz, is going to be a bit more serious in tone. We're moving away from Pokemon for a moment. We'll be back to Pokemon for the final one, but for now, stepping away from Pokemon to ask which big New Zealand landmark am I? Which is a very important question in my culture. So I'm from New Zealand, and we have lots of big landmarks. For example, there's a big gumboot, and there's a big sheep, and there's all these different big things that are landmarks in our country. We like to make kind of big objects and then put them up as representations of our inner selves. So the question is, which big object from New Zealand am I? Now this could ruin my domestic fan base, but I'm hoping that it will gain me some international fans as a kind of exchange. Let's find out, shall we? So the first question coming down is to pick a food. Now options are sushi, lamb, steamed veggies, a fruit salad, just a drink, or all of it. Now I don't really drink. I can't drink. I'm on a medication. That means I can't drink. But even when I wasn't, I still didn't really drink much. I'm kind of vegetarian at the moment too. I basically eat like nothing. Steamed veggies, those look kind of good. But I'm gonna go with sushi. Sushi is a classic. It's got to be sushi out of these. You could take all of it, but I don't know if I want like a fruit salad. I'm not really a fruit salad fan. I like fruit. I love fruit. But fruit salad, I feel like it gets too kind of sticky and acidic. You want just like a nice individual fruit. So I'm going sushi. But lamb is nice, and steamed veggies are nice. Okay, next up. Pick a town. We have Te Kuiti, Ohakune, Rakaya, Te Puke, Taihape, or Pairoa. And of these, so Pairoa is famous for in New Zealand we have a hit drink called lemon and Pairoa, which is a sort of, it's actually made by the Coca-Cola company. But in theory, it's a drink that has come from the small town of Pairoa. And these towns, I think, are known for their large objects. Now, I have to confess, I'm kind of like a city kid. I think I've only been to Pairoa and Taihape out of these 6. I do kind of respect the gumboot toss. I think that's a good like cultural moment. So Taihape is the town known for the gumboot, right? Like it's a giant gumboot. There's a gumboot toss you can go do when you get to toss a gumboot. See how far you can toss it. I've done the gumboot. I've done the gumboot toss. It is pretty compelling. It really makes you feel like you're throwing a gumboot a medium distance. So I'm gonna go with Taihape. These 4 I haven't visited, so I don't know much about them. I think Rakaya is in the South Island. These are like in the North Island, but I don't know about Ohakune. I don't know. I'm gonna choose Taihape. Okay, pick an activity. Fishing, farming, eating, gardening, snowball fights, and beach cricket. I've been in snow like once in my entire life, and that was up a mountain. We don't get snow. I'm kind of northern. I'm a northerner. We don't get much snow, so I'm not going to choose snowball fights. I've been fishing like once. I've been farming like I've been to a farm like once. Eating is kind of stressful because the other result of last year I had like terrible gastritis, so I'm on this medication. But one of the things it does is make me really hungry all the time. So eating is like a double-edged sword. So then it's gardening or beach cricket, and beach cricket is kind of fun. I respect beach cricket, but I'm gonna go gardening. Gardening is like aesthetically pleasing, even if I don't do it very often. Okay, TV show. These are all critical New Zealand TV shows. We've got Country Calendar, which follows sort of farmers in the South Island doing various things. Haven't really watched it. Shortland Street, which is our kind of long-running soap opera. We've got The Fishing Show. We've got Get Fresh. Police 107 is our like police body cam reality TV show. 7 Days was a news show. I don't know if it still exists. Maybe it still exists. But I'm going to go Shortland Street. It's kind of like you know, it's not like high quality all the time entertainment, but it's kind of compelling, and it's good background, and it gets actors employed. I respect Shortland Street. I'm gonna pick Shortland Street. Okay, next, pick a social media. I'm not gonna click Pinterest, definitely not. The only thing I ever use Pinterest for is when Google Images links me to Pinterest instead of letting me actually save the image. Twitter has been corrupted by a warlock, so we don't want to click Twitter. Facebook was also, well, Facebook and Instagram are owned by a different warlock. Tumblr kind of died. Snapchat, yeah. They're all kind of evil. I might, you know, I'm gonna click the zombie of Tumblr because I don't feel compelled by any of the other options. Not that I use Tumblr, but like, it's a tough crowd, the social media options. I'm not really like a big social media guy. If YouTube was here, I guess I'd pick YouTube or Reddit. Those are my sources. That's probably the most revealing thing I've said all video. That YouTube and Reddit are my sources of information. And finally, we have to pick a sheep. We are, of course, known for our sheep. We have a lot of sheep. And, I mean, you can blame me. Look at this jolly little sheep. Now, we've got some different personalities, right? This guy is like a happy-go-lucky little guy. He's got a long life ahead of him. Or maybe not. He might be being sent to the meat processing works. He might be fleeing from a truck where they're about to go bash his brains in to sell. What's baby sheep called? Veal or something? Or is that deer? I don't know. You know how baby sheep has like its own special meat name? Anyway, maybe he might be fleeing for his life, or he might be frolicking. This sheep's like doing pretty well. This guy is doing a photobomb, which is pretty cool. This guy's got the big floppy ears, which is pretty cool. But I have to choose this guy. Look, he's zooming. That's the fastest sheep. He's going. He's got places to be, man. I'm choosing this sheep. And I'm a big carrot. Hooray! That's beautiful. I didn't know how much I wanted to be a big carrot. So I'm an interesting one. No one is quite sure why I'm hanging out at the entrance to a skiing town, but who are they to complain? I'm big, bright, beautiful, and unique in the best way. I mean, what more could you ask for than being a big carrot, right? That's probably the highest honor I've ever received in my life. Yeah, I think I've peaked. It's all downhill from here. But we've got one more quiz. We've got one more quiz to do, so we've got to press on for a little bit longer. And finally, we're going back to Pokemon, but this one is Pokemon all the way down. It's Pokemon-themed questions, Pokemon-themed answer. We're going to find out not what type I am, not what scented candle I am, but which Pokemon am I of all the Pokemon. There are over 1,000 Pokemon in the National Rolodex, which suggests that maybe this was made by AI, because what the heck is a Rolodex? I obviously know the icons like Pikachu, Charizard, Eevee, and Bulbasaur, but there are lesser-known cuties like Lickitung, and ones that look like regular human world things, like Kingler, a crab, and Executor, a bunch of eggs. Not eggs are cute. Executor, the thing that is like a tree with 6 faces. That's a regular human world thing. Not like Eevee, the kind of like cat-dog thing. No, Executor, that's the normal-looking one. Yeah, this is a very suspicious tagline because it says there are over 1,000 Pokemon in the National Rolodex, but it's only given me Gen 1 guys. So I suspect I'm going to get a Gen 1, you know, like, basic option. Like, it's not going to give me, like, Bruxish as my Pokemon. It's not going to say, your Pokemon of choice is Carkol. No, it's going to be like, guessing now, I think it's either going to be Growlithe, a Growlithe-like Pokemon, or maybe Gen 2, and it'll be like Sneasler, and it'll be like, look, there was a second generation of Pokemon. I'll be like, I know. Okay, so that's Detective Pikachu. Here is the second prompt. It says there aren't quite as many Pokemon as there are humans. In fact, there's quite a lot fewer, but there are certainly enough to find one that closely resembles my personality. Am I a contemplative introvert like Mewtwo? Or a bubbly ball of energy like Pikachu? Mewtwo, known for being an introvert, that time when he... Because I'm kind of an introvert in that I get, like, worn down by social interactions and I need to be alone to recharge. And it does make me want to, like, kidnap a bunch of people on my deserted island and make them fight in a coliseum against their clones. That's kind of an introvert move. So yeah, I would say Mewtwo is an introvert. The first question is, where do I live? Out of these 9 places, and I think this is a pretty good question. Pallet Town is like too rural for me. It's got like a few houses. It does have a science lab, which is cool, but I don't think it's Pallet Town. Viridian seems nice. I don't really want to live in Pewter. Lavender Town, I think I would die. Like Lavender Town seems like everyone who lives there is on a timer. Fuchsia has a safari zone, but it's a bit kind of like big gamey for me. Cinnabar, this is post-eruption Cinnabar. I think I'll prefer... Well, actually, I do kind of live on Cinnabar. Well, New Zealand is covered in volcanoes. But... I want to live on Cinnabar, not really. Cerulean seems okay. Saffron seems okay. This is kind of like the big city. I guess you got the big tower. I think I'm going to choose Viridian. You've got access to the good forest, which I like. You can you probably get some through fare because you're the only road into the Elite Four. So even though you're semi-rural, you've got a gym at least. So you'll get traffic, you'll get tourism, not like Pallet Town where no one would ever go to. You've got a gym, you've got Pokemon Center, all the things you need, but you're still like in the forest. Lots of trees, nice little pond. I want Viridian City. Okay, next. Choose a gym badge. Now we have the 8 Kanto badges, and then the relic badge from... It looks like a diamond and pearl badge. The ones that you like clean with the stylus. But I don't remember which badge the relic badge actually is. I'm going to choose from just like the Kanto ones. I always quite like the rainbow badge. I think it's quite aesthetic. I like the Cascade badge too, but I'm going to go rainbow badge. Celadon gym is like really easy. Like when you're doing a Nuzlocke and you get to Celadon, you're like, oh, finally a gym I can just beat. I don't know. Grass types kind of suck. And Celadon's like the last, like after Celadon, you get the big open world and you have to deal with Sabrina and you have to deal with... Well, Sabrina's really annoying because Psychic is so strong in Gen 1. And Koga's annoying because Poison and just has like annoying moves. But before them you get to fight Erica and she just kind of folds. So I'm going to go Rainbow Badge. Choose my favorite game. Now this is a interesting question. So we've got the classic. It's not going to be one of these, like when good in their day. But I'm like, I didn't grow up with Red or Blue. I grew up with I grew up with Pokemon Gold and Silver. My first ever game was Gold and Silver, and then I got Ruby, and then I got Diamond. Diamond is probably the one that I played the most in my childhood. It's a really good game, but I think it has to be Heart Gold. I like Omega Ruby and Pokemon X and Ruby and stuff, but Heart Gold is just amazing. This is not Heart Gold. This is normal gold. But normal gold was really my childhood. I remember I got Pokemon Gold for my Game Boy. I got a Game Boy Color and Pokemon Gold for my 7th birthday. No, my 6th. I turned 6. I think it was for Christmas after my 6th birthday. And I just remember walking into the route and finding a Centriet, and I was like blown away. Like it was a beautiful experience. And that set me on this path. Like ever since I've been a Pokemon fan. Almost 20 years. Well, I was a Pokemon fan before I got that, but like, yeah, Pokemon Gold version. That's what I want. And I actually like the art style of Pokemon Gold. Like they've cleaned up the jankiness of Red, Blue, and Yellow, but it's still like that classic Pokemon art style. Yeah, easy Pokemon actually. Diamond in 2nd place. So Diamond, great game. But if you want to play it easy, you have to play it on emulator so that you can fast forward it like 10 times and actually make it bearable. Okay, what's my best quality? So this is not like... This is like what the quality that I like most in myself. I'm going to say it's being focused. I think that I focus on things a lot. Like I'm good at keeping my attention on one thing. I mean, I've got a concussion and a cold right now. So, but I'm still kind of focused. So I'm going to say being focused. What's my greatest weakness? I am a perfectionist. Definitely a perfectionist. But I don't really want to say that's my greatest weakness because that seems a bit kind of like, my worst quality is that I do everything so well. Like, isn't that a bit arrogant? I feel like perfectionist is like code for arrogance. I think I'm a bit controlling, which can be like I like to have everything. I like to know all the rules and have everything set up in the way that I choose, which can be good for some things, but it is also a weakness in that it can lead to conflict and it can lead to sort of panic as I realize that things aren't under control. I'm going to choose being too controlling. Okay, next question is who's hottest of these classic Pokemon characters? This is a very easy decision. It's obviously James. Not even close. I mean, look at James. Look at that. Look at these little shiny things. Yeah, James. Easy. Next, Evolutionary Stone. The Evolutionary Stones are cool. I do like the classic Evolutionary Stones. I think like Fire, Water, and Thunderstone are really nice. I was always a bit annoyed that the Leaf Stone was like it didn't match the kind of crystal theme of the other three basic stones, but I think I'm going to go with the Water Stone. Ooh. Thunderstone. I really like the Water Stone. I'm going Water Stone. And I'm a Magikarp. Okay, so not only am I giant carrot and a bamboo scented candle, I'm a Magikarp. And isn't that just great? That's me. That's literally me right there. After all, hidden deep within my clumsy and seemingly useless fish body is a ferocious sea monster just waiting to escape and kick some Pokemon butt. So don't worry, we all grow into our own at some point. My time will come eventually. Thanks, BuzzFeed. So what it's saying is you kind of suck right now, and you don't amount to anything. But one day maybe you will, if you keep it up. And it's fitting because I got Gyarados for my type, right? Like we already knew I was a water type. So of course I'm a Magikarp. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's the grand finale. Thanks for watching this 100 subscriber special. I guess I'll do another at 200 subscribers? No, well, it's going to be maybe 500. We'll go 200, 500. Or 250, I don't know. We'll see. Probably 500 if I ever get there. If I can get 1,000 subscribers, that's when I can actually monetize the channel. I need 1,000 subscribers and then YouTube lets you monetize it. Which would be nice because I wouldn't mind, getting paid for this work. But I'm not doing it to get paid. So I think that if I do get to the point where I can monetize it, which seems possible, I'd have to put a lot of work in. I think there's an audience for some of the stuff and I can get better. But it is a lot of work. I don't think I want to take sponsorships or really go in on the YouTube thing. I don't want to be like, hey, this video was sponsored by Raid, Shadow Legends, or Surfshark VPN, or insert your other company. I don't know. I feel like I can make money from my day job and not tie my financial security to something as sort of flighty and unreliable as YouTube. But I enjoy making the videos, so if you want to subscribe, you can do. But I'm not freaked out about it, This one's for the fans. This one's for you who already are subscribed. I hope you're enjoying it. I know there was quite a few months of break. I had so much momentum for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then Pod died, and it was all very sad. And it's still very sad, but you just got to keep going. These things happen. It's life. It's just been kind of one thing after another. Pod died, got a concussion, got a cold. Just one day I'll be sound of mind again, which is all we can ever really ask for. But yeah, I'm a Magikarp. I'm pretty proud of myself for being a giant carrot Magikarp, and it really shows the scientific accuracy of these quizzes because obviously I got Gyarados, I got Magikarp. Yeah, no, I mean it's all kind of wonderful. It's all okay. Yeah, I'm kind of writer's blocked on the Latios video. It's because the Pikachu video I just put out was actually going to be part of the Latios video, but then I was like, no, this is derailing the whole thing. I should just make a separate video. But I'm kind of writer's blocked, and it's holding me up. But I do want to do that video justice because I'm trying to explain just like one concept, but I want to explain it well, and it's a bit of a tricky concept, or it's not to understand necessarily, but it's like it's tricky for me to find the words to explain it. It's like a bit of a challenge. But I am working on it. The how to use videos. The how to use videos I'm making those because they're videos that I want to exist. Like these ones I'm doing for fun. These like this and the draft league, that's for fun. The how to use is like, I think there's actually a gap in the market because the Smogon analyses pages are really good, but they're really, really hard to pass because they just read like lists of Pokemon names. You know, they're like, Magikarp does really, really well against Emolga and Victini and Tropius, but it does really poorly against Luvdisc and Kyurem and Bruxish. I don't know why I keep thinking of Bruxish. I guess it's the Pokemon that my brain thinks no one thinks of. Yeah, so I think that it would be good for them to exist. I think it is good for them to exist. And I think that they're inspired by Jamie Boyd. Jamie Boyd did a series of like short videos rapidly at the start of the gen and then after Indigo Disc as well, about like, it was just quick sets of Pokemon in VGC. And I loved those, and I think they did pretty well for him too. Like, he got a lot of subscribers out of them. It's just like an easy to digest format. So I will keep them going. I probably won't be able to keep the same pace as I was doing because I'm now full-time working on Wasps. But I'll try to put them out. I mean, I guess Gen 10 is going to come out sooner or later, and then it'll start from scratch. But hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have one for every Gen 9 meta Pokemon. I think that I'm skipping all the like C rank and D rank Pokemon on the viability tier list. Those videos would probably actually do the best because you can clickbait them better. You can be like, Mousehold is underrated in Gen 9 OU. But in terms of like public utility, I think that just having the actual core meta is the most important thing. And then I can do a separate series where I go through all the like borderline, slightly sketchy, but like has a niche technically Pokemon. If I get there. Anyway, that's kind of the future plans. Oh, and there's a draft league. The draft is starting tomorrow. I'm probably going to record like a daily, like what I'm doing. It'll be very informal, just like, they've picked this. Here's kind of what I think about it. But I'm going to put a delay on it so I don't like get people sniped or like ruin people's drafts. So I'll probably put like a 3-day delay on those videos coming out. But they will hopefully come out, and yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. It's cool. It's nice that there's kind of a community of people who are interested in the same really niche things that I'm interested in, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Sorry for the kind of somber pod thing. That was for me. That wasn't really for the fans. That was something that I felt like I needed to do. But that's how life is too, right? You just occasionally get these moments where you have to step away from your job and just like be a human for a while. So I'm gonna leave them up, and they're part of the history of the channel and such. But yeah, I probably only do like non-informative content on that level with like severe life events and such. I'll try to keep them sparse, but it's all part of the game. Yeah, so I haven't forgotten about this, and I really do. I think it's real cool that you guys are all watching. Appreciate the comments. I'm terrible at like replying to messages and stuff, but I do read them. And it's nice. It's nice to like have some real feedback. I wish you guys all the best wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you with the next whatever video. I guess I'll be a Magikarp, so it'll probably be me flopping on the ground hopelessly for 27 minutes. Okay, well with that, I bid you all farewell.